Hey there, hope you're going well. Today I'm going to be talking about fast growth, not in the way you're probably thinking. I wanted to make this video because so many businesses die, yes, die, because of fast growth. But there are so many gurus promoting it without realizing the impact it has on businesses. How do I know this? A large number of people we meet in business have gone down that path, and their businesses have nearly imploded because of it. I know it sounds exciting, much more exciting than slow growth, right? But this is the riskiest time for a business, and it's one of the most common causes of death. I'll share a quick story with you about a friend of one of our clients who went through this fast growth phase. Now, this was our client's dear friend who they tried to convince to slow down and put solid foundations in place because our clients were in the same spot and they really suffered for it. I'll read you the article. Another South Australian builder falls into liquidation after more than 30 years in business. 30 years! To put that in context, 50% of businesses fail within their first year. 90% fail within 5 years and 96 to 99% fail within 10 years. So they're already in the top 1%. They've been around for 30 years. Tough as nails, survived booms, busts, economic crises, the GFC. 30 years. Close to 70 suppliers and other creditors are unlikely to recover debts owed by the latest South Australian building company to collapse. Now, that is horrible because usually when this happens, there's a domino effect, and when a business goes bankrupt, it usually sends a bunch of other businesses bankrupt. The liquidator commenced an investigation into the issues that led to the collapse, suggesting it had been unable to manage a period of rapid growth. 30 years in business, been through all sorts of things, go through rapid growth, then boom, gone. We, the liquidators, are still in the process of collecting the books and records and working out why it got into the problem, but it seems to be that it grew too quickly, which from my knowledge was the case because our clients were telling us that they were going for a fast growth strategy. And look, this next part really makes me feel sick. It's very, very sad. The director had put in $200,000 of his own money in superannuation to support the company. If you're not from Australia and you don't know what super is, it's basically a retirement fund. So 30 years in business, about to retire, put retirement money in to grow, then bam, it's gone. Really, really sad. There's no choice now but to keep working. It's really hard. I feel for these guys. It's heartbreaking. My friends were really upset. Our clients who were friends with them, very good friends, but it's so common. Another family friend of mine came to one of our business seminars, and after the seminar, we had a chat at the back of the room. And I asked, "Hey, how's business going?" And his head just sank. He said, "Mark, well, and I could see his gut wrenching. He said, "Look, it didn't end well. We were growing really fast. Then all of a sudden, everything went out of control. We weren't prepared for the growth, and I couldn't handle it. So we're just in the process of going bankrupt." I felt so horrible. He had just had his third child, worked so hard in that business, and to go bankrupt like that, it's horrible. There are just two examples, but we come across so many of these cases. We've been very lucky that we haven't lost an active client to bankruptcy in nearly seven years. But I must say, a couple are threading the line. But sometimes people just get help too late. We've had as bad as clients coming to us with 4 days left of cash. And look, this probably is going to happen over and over and over again. So, is fast growth bad? Well, it depends. If fast growth is the sole focus, it's likely to put a business to the edge of bankruptcy. There are many reasons for this, but I'll simplify it for you in an analogy. Imagine you had a house and it's 1 story, but it's got the foundations for 2 stories. And if you wanted to make it 3, it would require some re-engineering, but it can be done somehow, right? All of a sudden you get a flash of inspiration. Maybe you meet a coach or a motivational speaker or interior designer, and you start building and building and building, and you build 10 stories. You know what's going to happen, right? That house is not built for 10 stories. It doesn't have the foundation. It doesn't have the structure to handle the extra pressure. And the same goes for businesses. If your business doesn't have good foundations, good structure, good people, clear financials, and clear direction, then it's just like a house. It may last for a while, but sooner or later, it's gonna come tumbling down. My point is, fast growth is extremely dangerous if you don't have solid foundations. Why am I telling you this? Because your business can grow larger as well as growing fast at the same time if you had solid business foundations. But not enough people do this. Is it harder work? Yes. Do you make tons of money in the process? Usually you have to reinvest most of what you make, so not necessarily at the early stages. I mean, we ourselves decided early on that we were going to invest in building solid foundations, and 6 years later we're still building, and it's felt like a long time, but after our first 3 years we were ranked second fastest growing company in South Australia, so it's still possible to grow fast. And 3 years after that, we are now 25 times the size of where we were when in our first year, and we're going to double again in 18 months. I'm just saying that because what I would like to promote is longer term business building, because I don't like seeing all these business failures happen. You know, we don't have to have 99% of businesses fail. We recently caught up with a guy called Norman Chen from Indonesia. Norman owns a company called Sukanda Jaya. He's been running it since 1979. That's 40 years. And he said over dinner that 60 is the new 40. So he's got around 25 years left. Very long-term, big picture thinker, right? They're the #1 cold chain distribution business in Indonesia. They've got about 22 or 24 cold chain distribution centers. And we went for a walkthrough through one of these things, and they're like the size of IKEA. He's got about 1,000 trucks in his fleet. And the thing is, do you think he would have achieved this if he played the short game? He was telling us about another business in the country called Gojek. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a tech business with a valuation of $10 billion US. It's been going for 10 years and hasn't made a profit. It's a tech business. 10 years is still a decent amount of time, right? A lot of people think tech businesses are 1 year, 2 years, but hey, you know what? A lot of business owners I meet feel like, hey, I've been doing this for 3 years and why aren't I successful yet? Point is, if you want to build something of value, a little bit of long-term thinking won't hurt. In fact, it can do your business a whole lot of good. You need to balance short, medium, and long-term focus, but the long term is where the price is at. So what now? Well, this video has gone on for too long already, but if you want some really useful information, I'll be making more videos about the 6 levers of unlimited growth. With these 6 levers, it doesn't matter what business you're in, no matter what maturity or stage your business is at, what industry you're in, what's happening in the economy, or what geographical location you're in on this planet. We've used this over and over again, and it works just as well in Indonesia as it does in Australia or New Zealand or Dubai. Whether you're big, you're small, you're mature, you're a startup, it works. Also, I'll be creating videos about the 5 most common problems that businesses face again and again and again, no matter what stage you're at, whether it's a startup or a corporation, they all come across these problems. So like our page, keep in touch, and if you find this content useful, please share it. Until then, take care and catch you later.